Hello. I don't know if I'll post this video because I don't know if what I'm going to say is going to be cohesive enough, but I just need to talk about this because, oh, it's kind of bothering me. Here's the thing. You can't force chemistry, okay? Though you can't make characters that don't have chemistry. That's just not a thing. Because if you can watch a show where two characters don't even really maybe have many romantic moments or there's just not that much there, but they have chemistry. So every little moment, every little conversation, everything seems romantic, right? And on the flip side, you can have a show where every scene is supposed to be geared romantically. There's supposed to be tension, there's supposed to be intrigue, right? And yet it's like you're watching nothing. It's like there's nothing there. You can just see it and you're like, I don't see anything. Like I don't feel anything. It's just boring, right? And that is a great example. Okay, I'm going to compare two shows right now. So I'm watching this show called Vincenzo on Netflix. I know a lot about the show because I've seen clips of it. It's been out since 2020, I think. Really popular, got really blew up. I never watched it. I got like an episode and a half into it, and then whenever I had watched it, gave up. But I decided to try again, and I really like it. It's really interesting. Two of the characters, though, in the show are like romantic leads, but it's not like romance doesn't play a very big part in the show because there's so much else going on. But they have a couple, romance scenes or whatever. And their first kiss, bro, it's amazing. It's really good. There's so much chemistry between them. It's crazy. And yet it's not a romance drama and there's really not that much romance between them, but just in general their characters have so much natural chemistry. On the flip side, this show that I've talked about a couple of times, Love Your Enemy, the one that I'm skipping through because I have to know where it's going, but I also like every time I watch an episode, I'm like, what is it? What is this plot? This is a great example of a show that is bad and is trying to force chemistry that's not there. And, maybe if I slow down the episode and I watched it second, I watched the whole thing all the way through, maybe I would change my mind. But I don't think so because from the get go, the two characters, the adult versions of the characters didn't have really any chemistry. I think it's the female lead's fault. I'm going to be so real. Call me sexist, whatever you want to say. I think that it's partly the actress's fault, but I also think it's partly the way that they wrote the character. But also, to be fair, it's not really her fault because if you don't have chemistry with someone, you can't, like I said, you can't force it. So it's not really her fault, but her and the guy, I don't know what it is. The actor, they just don't have any chemistry. It's just like I don't personally think that they're interesting in a scene together. It feels very much like acting when you're watching it. And in my opinion, if you're watching a show, you shouldn't really feel like you're watching a show. You should be feeling like you're watching two people communicate. And I've watched dramas where I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's like they have it's like they're two real people communicating." This show, it's so not that. And I think part of the problem is, and I've said this before, say it again, the younger versions of them had way more angst and there was way more like tension and like problems that they both faced that it showed the younger actors facing, right? But then the older actors, it's been all silly and stupid. And so it's hard to take the characters seriously because you're like, okay, well, I've just watched 20 minutes of you being like stupid sound effects and you being like, haha, funny. And I'm like, it's not matching up. And that's what I've said from the get-go is the two versions seem like two different shows. It doesn't seem like the same show. And I do really think that they wrote, and I don't know if I said this in my last video about the show, but I had seen a comment and I talked about the comment where I was like, the show really geared the focus and the positiveness of the show is geared a lot more towards the male lead, and he gets a lot more of like emotional moments and backstory and past moments, whereas the female lead stays kind of the same and she hasn't really wavered much the whole show, and it's hard to take her character emotionally seriously because you're getting the male leads getting the emotional scenes and the scenes of where it's showing that he still has feelings for her. She's not. So it just doesn't really feel like the same. And even when she kind of realized, like the clips I saw in the most recent episode where she realized that she still liked him, or she's like, I do like him, or she said, like she physically, like, not physically, verbally said it, it still was just like, okay, and here's the thing. There's a side couple that's like not even the main couple. It's like the school nurse and then one of the other teachers, and they are kind of cute. Like they have a little bit of a thing going. And I'm like, they're a good example of they're probably supposed to be romantic, at some point, like they'll fall for each other at some point, or there's something happening between them. But it feels way more natural and way more like actually happening than the main couple who have had 7 episodes to be romantic. And it's just like, okay, this is also a trope that I don't like the K-dramas do sometimes, is they'll show the male lead, especially if it starts in a way of like enemies to lovers or something like that, him not liking her, and then some way, somewhere along the line he changes his mind and then he starts to like her, and then it starts to be different, and then he starts to be kind of awkward, and he's realized that he likes her but he doesn't know how to deal with it. Now he's like kind of, a little weird or like a little strange, or he acts a little like, pathetic, if you will, right? But at the same time, parallel to that, the female lead hasn't changed. Her state, what is the word I'm looking for? Not statement. I don't know. Her like state of mind, whatever, hasn't changed. She's at the same place. She's not experiencing butterflies. She's not awkward. She's not uncomfortable in some context because she's maybe having feelings for him again. She just stays at the exact same place of like still kind of like scoffing at him and being like, oh, I don't like you, you're annoying, blah, blah, blah. Which, by the way, I'm so sorry, but there was a scene where she's supposed to be like, because they had made a bet about their like dating thing or like dating life or whatever, and he won the bet, so they had to date. That was like the whole thing. And Girly Pop was acting like she had to date like a serial killer. I was like, babe, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. You're an idiot. Look at this man, please. Just on a purely physical level, he is a catch. And also on an emotional level, everything else, I'm like, I don't even get why you don't like him. They wrote her so bad. She's such an annoying, uninteresting character who I couldn't give 2 flying farts about. I don't care about her at all. And that's saying something. And I feel bad because I always feel like it's the female leads I don't like. But this is what I've said. They don't know how to write female leads. Sometimes. They don't know how to write women in general. Because I've seen too many shows where the woman was just so annoying the whole show. I don't even care if it makes me sound like I'm like, oh my gosh, the men are so much better. No, the women, they don't know how to write good women. Sometimes, I'll say that. There's a couple dramas where I loved the female lead. Case in point, Vincenzo. The female lead in that show, love her. She's silly, she's funny, she's entertaining, she's emotional, but she's also like intriguing, and she's like powerful in a way that's not like cringy girl power. Like she's actually just like slay, right? The female lead in Happiness, same thing. So cool, so woman, like just so like, ooh, you just look at her and you're like, yes. I'm trying to think of another one. I never watched the show, but I really like the character. It's called Alchemy of Souls. The 2nd season, the female lead in that, I just love that actress in general. She's so cute. She's so pretty. She's slay. Same actress in the show called Moving. Great in Moving. The same female lead from Happiness is also the mom in Moving, and she's freaking slays. I like my female leads. I like women, guys. I don't hate women. Trust me. I like them. I do. But I hate the way that these men write these female characters. Because who's sitting here watching a show going, oh my gosh, you know what? I really want my female lead to be super annoying, super stubborn for actually no good reason, genuinely just like unlikable. And then I want my male lead to be basically the perfect. And I want him to yearn for her so bad. No, I don't want the yearning when the female lead sucks. And that's a fact. Here's the thing. I love a he fell first. I do. I love a he fell first. But here's the thing. If it's he fell first for a sucky female lead, I don't want it. Don't give it to me. Because I don't want to see him with all the angst and all the yearning and all the... just like, he just is like, oh, I just love her so much. And she's over here like... That's the face that I like connect with female leads I don't like, is that face. Because it's just like, that's how it feels with this show too, where it's like, at some point, she's just going to probably spontaneously, as it happened in the show, in this episode, I guess technically it was this episode that it happened, excuse me, she just like spontaneously is like, oh wait, no, I do love you. No, I do. Okay, that came out of nowhere. Like, what? Oh, it bothers me so much. And it's also like when I watch a show that has a good female lead, I'm always like, so, everybody, hey, this is what I want. And I don't need, and when I say a good female lead, I'm not talking like, oh, she needs to be like, oh my gosh, girl power. She needs to be like strong and she can't have feelings and she can't. No, girl. Oh my gosh, my hair looks so bad right now. It's okay. That's not what I mean. I just mean like, I don't want her to be so unlikable. And I know people use the whole thing of like, oh, if a man was written like that, you wouldn't like him. Or you would like him if it was a man. Me messing up my own analogy. Anyways. And the thing is, no, I wouldn't. Because if a male lead was that wishy-washy and that just, like, never quite seems like they're at the same emotional, like, how they feel level as the person they're supposed to be in love with, it's not satisfying to watch that for a female lead or a male lead. It doesn't matter. It's not fun to watch a character not care about the person they're supposed to be in love with. And I don't understand how that's, like, hard to believe, but apparently it is. Also, another female lead that I really, really liked was in King the Land. Her name, I don't remember what her name was in the show. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Yuna from Girls Gen, my girl, I love her. She was great. I freaking loved her. She was such a good female lead. She was so cute. She was like a good mix of like, oh, she's not just like powerless, like, oh my gosh, save me, but she's also like vulnerable. You know, I love that girl. I love that actress. I love that idol. I love her so much. She's so cute. So anyways, my point is, it's not, oh my, hello? Sorry, I'm like having a really hard time right now. I have a thing of blueberries. There's also a little bit of water in there because when I washed them, I just like put them in a bowl. I don't know why I'm saying this. Anyways, it kept clanking against my glass coffee cup. Heaven help me. Okay, anyways. You know, I really genuinely I always post my YouTube videos on my Instagram stories. I don't know if anyone watches them genuinely. If you do watch them though, you have to because there's so much going on up here that like it's funny, right? Like it's silly. Like you have to watch my videos because I'm funny. I make myself laugh. Sometimes, okay, I definitely done this before where I like put my own video in the background so I could listen to myself talk while I was like getting ready or something, and I'm just like sitting there like, yes, correct. Oh, yes. I love agreeing with myself. This when I had a TikTok, that's what I did. I made 3-minute ranting videos about whatever in the heck I was talking about, and then I would watch them back, and I'd be like, yeah, I remember when I said that, and it was right, and I stand by that. I swear I'm not full of myself. I just have such good takes, bro. I have such good takes. Anyway, sorry. I was getting text messages, so I was kind of trying to read those subtly, but also not at the same time because I was like, I don't want to be like, oh my gosh. Anyways, learn how to write female leads, please. Please, God, please. Oh, also, I was going to watch this other show called The Tale of Lady OK. Oak. I don't know what OK is in Korean. Like, I've seen that. It's like a surname. I don't know. There's an actor. His name's Taekyung. He's also don't know if that's how you say his name, but you know what? No, that's how I'm saying his name. So you know what? Bite me. Anyways, he's in Vincenzo too. Actually, fun fact. His surname is okay, like O, literally the letters OK. But I don't know if it's okay or if it's like Oak or Ok Taekyung. I don't think I've ever heard his full name said. I need to hear someone Korean say it. I don't know. That's how I know sometimes. If I don't know how to pronounce a name, I'll just like look up how someone says it, like someone who says it, who is Korean, how they say that person's name. And then I know how to pronounce things. Because I'm like, otherwise I don't know. You know, I'm just guessing. And there's some names or surnames in like Korean, like obviously the English version of the name. I don't know how to say it. Like I look at it and I go, no idea. Couldn't tell you. I need someone to say it. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, I was gonna watch that show. I started it and low-key, I don't know how I feel about it because, so the female lead that's in it, she was in The Glory, and horrible, like amazing actress, but her character was horrible, right? She was a terrible person. And I've seen her in other shows where she's a little more like silly or a little more like exaggerated with like kind of like a funny type character sort of. And that's kind of the vibe I was getting in this show, even though it's like a historical drama and it's also like really dramatic and like sad. Because the character has like a lot of like really sad backstory. But it's funny because I'm watching the show and she's acting very silly and I'm like, I don't know if I can get into this. I was like, I don't know if I like this. I also don't, it's not that I don't like the actress, but I'm like, here's the thing. And this is just the thing that makes me the most shallow person that's ever walked the earth. If I don't find a male lead, like the guy that's like the main guy, attractive in a drama, I usually won't watch it. I'm sorry. I will say though, so I started this Chinese drama, so good, so cute. Would recommend it. It's very cute. The main couple is, oh my gosh, they're so freaking cute. Initially, I wasn't totally sure how I felt about the male lead. I was kind of like, yeah, he's cute or whatever. I've changed my mind. He's so freaking cute, but also his character is so adorable and so sweet and so like, oh my gosh, he just loves the female lead so much. It's so cute. So then I'm like, I'll watch it. But yeah, that is definitely something I've done before where I didn't find, or if I don't find the female lead attractive, sorry. Sometimes it's hard for me though, because if I don't think the characters are at the same level physically in attractiveness, it's harder for me to see them as a couple unless they have like amazing chemistry, you know? And there's a good example of that like opinion, I don't know, that I have is this show called can't remember the name. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It was a show I watched and the male lead. Okay, now I've thought about this and I feel bad because it's not against him. I just, in my personal opinion, I don't think he's the most attractive actor ever in the world. I think he's handsome, but I don't think he's that attractive. And also, I didn't really like his styling in this show that they had him in. He was in a different show I watched where I liked his character, his clothing, everything was so much better. His hair was better, whatever. This show, I was like, eh. But here's the thing. So in the show, it's supposed to be like a contract fake marriage thing or whatever. So the female lead, when she meets the male lead, he's like supposed to be kind of like raggedy looking. He's got long hair. He's in like, frumpy clothes. He has glasses on, whatever. Oh my gosh. When he wears glasses, that's so ugly. I don't know why that's an ugly person trope. Like they're like, oh my gosh, he's wearing glasses. He's hideous. I'm like, are you kidding me? I've seen people with glasses that are like the sexiest people I've ever seen. Anyways, I digress. But so he's wearing, frumpy clothes, whatever. And then when she sees him when he's trying on suits, it's supposed to be this whole thing of like when it's revealed, it's like, oh my gosh, he's so sexy. He wasn't supposed to be that hot because she was looking for someone who wasn't attractive so they wouldn't remember the groom because the marriage is fake. Whatever. It's a whole thing. And I didn't find the male lead attractive. I was like, I can't get your guys' whole, because everyone's supposed to be so like, oh my gosh, he's so attractive, blah, blah, blah. And in my head, I'm like, I don't think he's that attractive. I don't think he's really hot. So I'm like, I don't see it. And they had like a guest star of this other actor that I really like. He was in it for like 5 seconds. And I was like, I'm sorry. If it had been him, had been her husband, I would have been like, yeah, no, I get it. 110% I get it, right? But it wasn't. Or if it had been a lot of other actors that I like, I would have gotten the hype for how hot his character was supposed to be. And yet in the back of my mind, all I could think was like, I don't think he's that attractive. I just genuinely don't find him that attractive. So it took me out of the show because I was like, eh. Now, if it had been Wee Ha Jun, if it had been Woo Do Hwan, girl, I would have been sad. I would have been like, yes, I get it. The hype is there. Also, my phone is propped against my computer screen, so that's why the lighting changed, because it's going dark and then and then it goes light. Because my screen's like turning off. No one cares. Anyways, so and it was hard to get into the plot of the show because I was so like, I don't get it type of thing, right? Hold on. Sorry, I had to read a text. I'm just trying to figure out. There's plans for tomorrow. I gotta figure out what's going on. Okay, I think that's all I have to say. I'm just start writing better female leads. I don't know. Screw the audience, I guess, right? As long as you make money, doesn't matter. Okay, that's all I have to say. I don't have anything else. Bye. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Okay, let me make sure I can stop it this time.